So first, welcome to the basement. Welcome back to the basement. The first thing I want to go back on is, I think it was yesterday or the day before, we're talking about not letting perfection get in the way of good, or not allowing yourself to allow perfection perpetuated procrastination to stop you or hinder you from achieving or doing what it is you need to be or want to be doing. And I think the example I used was the Mona Lisa. So we'll go back, and I used the example of him beating a young lady on the street and wanting to paint. And of course, it was all in humor and joke, but as we do, friends will let you know, hey, the backstory on that really was that he was commissioned. And yes, I had read that somewhere before, but wasn't really thinking about that at the moment. But it also fortifies my whole point. He was commissioned, meaning paid, by the family to paint this lady. So his thing was, hey, I'm gonna make this painting, get a buck, keep it moving. He wasn't thinking that this was gonna be the best painting ever. This was going to be a masterpiece. It was supposed to be good for the family, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't thinking this was going to be the end all, the be all. So again, further fortifying, proving my point that sometimes you just have to do it or get into it. And then as you move along, you continue to create what will be your masterpiece. So yeah, I felt the need to go back and espouse about that. It's a principle thing, or a character, if you will, which leads me to my next point. I was reading and I found out that I have something in common with this guy who I had never heard of before, who was actually a Nobel Prize winning author. His name is Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And he wrote, "The meaning of our earthly existence lies not as what we have grown used to thinking in prospering, but in the development of the soul, or the self." So that takes me back to everything that I always talk about. Developing of yourself and your character, maintaining, building upon. See, people say that adversity or crisis develops character. I'm not necessarily sure about that. I think that what we put into ourself, what we absorb, what we practice develops our character. But I am 100% a believer in the statement that crisis or adversity will definitely expose or show or emphasize the character of the being. Let me simplify that and say that again. Adversity may not build character, but it will definitely show what you're working with. So to that I say, always maintain and build upon your character for the good. And in times of adversity, times like now, times when there's just a bunch of question marks, times when you're standing under the weight of it all, maintain the character, because you can drop the weight of whatever it is and cling to the nothingness of something else, in which you end up with nothing in the long run. Or you can stand under the weight or rays of sunshine of whatever that truth is, and maintain and continue to fortify your character. And in the end, what will be known, said, believed about you will be exactly who and what you are. See, character doesn't always, or living our truth, or maintaining and develop ourselves doesn't always bring us the limelight. It doesn't always put us in a good light. It doesn't always bring us good things. Sometimes it brings us sacrifice. Sometimes it brings us loss. Sometimes it brings us alienation, exilation, exile. Because the truth for which we present may not be palatable by others. And so if somebody doesn't want to swallow something, they scrape it off their plate, right? But it doesn't change what you scraped off your plate. You don't like broccoli, you scrape it off your plate, it's still broccoli. You just didn't eat it. So be like broccoli. Maintain who and what you are, especially under duress, especially under questionable circumstances, especially in times of crisis. See, we are born with certain talents, certain God-given talents. We don't get to choose those talents in which we are born with, but we can develop and hone other talents. That is a choice. Maintaining your character is a choice. Yourself is not. And if the two are not in alignment, you'll always be in conflict. So I say it again. Be like broccoli. Maintain. Thoughts from the basement.